Mandalorian is a movie that most definitely exists. So, yeah, here's gonna be my review for the Mandalorian and Grogu movie. Spoiler full, except I won't really be giving many spoilers because honestly, this movie, I'm not gonna have much to say about it. You've heard it all, basically. It is an episode of The Mandalorian stretched out into a movie. Now, it's not season 3 episode of Mandalorian, it's more like a season 2 episode of Mandalorian, or even, not season 1. Like, it's a season 2 episode of Mandalorian, quality-wise, just stretched into a movie. And some points you feel it where I just feel like they're just biding their runtime. Like when we escape from the planet, just for them to go like right back to capture the Empire dude, the Imperial officer. I'm like, we could have just done that on the planet. We didn't need to waste time doing that. And honestly, the whole hunt for the Imperial guy kind of just got lost in the sauce of the film. You're like, how did we get here? Because halfway through the movie, he's just chucked with New Republic, and now we're dealing with the Hutts. I mean, the Hutts are a fine villain, but whatever. Also, like, there was this really not a bad part, but really where I'm like, okay, guys, what were we doing here? And it's basically just dumb Grogu fun for 20 minutes as Mando is basically dead. Which also, I knew Grogu was gonna force heal him. As soon as I saw a cut and Grogu come by, I'm like, oh my god, he's gonna force heal again! Sorry, force healing, I mean, I don't think it's a bad concept. I actually think it's neat. It's just, don't like how it's just randomly thrown in there. No, sorry. But yeah, I'll talk about some things of it connecting to sequels and stuff like that later. But yeah, honestly, that was just so time biting. And there were some moments where I'm just like, okay, can we stop with the cute... Sorry, I heard a garbage truck outside. Anyways, there are some moments where I'm like, can we just stop spending time with these cute, oh my god, cute Grogu moments? Whatever. One thing I will say is that those, like, I feel like Star Wars is getting their own minions with the little technicians, and it's making me mad. I don't like them. What's some other problems? Mando, while I do like him... Sorry, it's a fly near me. Pedro Pascal does a good enough job. Not his best performance, but not his worst. To be fair, Pedro Pascal doesn't really have many bad performances. But, I will say... Did Mando have an arc in this film? I guess becoming a part of the New Republic, like at the end where he says, I'm a private contractor, and she's like, sure you are, buddy. If that, like, what did Mando look, like, he had no arc in this. That just felt a little weird. Like, honestly, yeah. I don't know. Mando was good in the film, but he had nothing, it felt like a movie about the Mandalorian and Grogu that didn't revolve around the Mandalorian and Grogu. Especially by the fact that anything that happened in the show, we just kind of act like that didn't happen. The rise of the First Order that was teased in, like, I think it was Season 3, Episode 4 of Mandalorian. I mean, I was mad enough that Season 3 didn't handle it, but the fact that this didn't even touch on it was a bit weak. No one talked about Mandalore. No one talked about the other Mandalorians at all. There was nothing, no acknowledgement that Grogu has, like, pre-power war. Like, I just felt like there were some things that just were missing. It felt like, honestly, you could have wrote it that it took place before the show. Other than the fact that, of course, he is Grogu. But really, nothing happens in the movie that correlates with the show. Which it feels a bit odd with. Why would you make a movie based off a show, but you're not going to relate it back to the show? It just feels odd. Another thing that feels odd is the somewhat misleading trailers. There's a line from Mando in the trailers, where he's like, to Grogu, he's like, this child will outlive me hundreds of years. What am I gonna do with it? He's beyond me. right? He's the highest midichlorian being other than, like, Luke Skywalker and Leia in the universe. Now, here's the thing. That's chill. That's cool. But that's a trailer line. It's never touched on in the movie. I mean, the Hutts say it at one point, like, oh, the child will outgrow you and you will die. And then that's it. Honestly, I thought this movie could have been actually a really neat and good exploration of what Grogu will become. Because he's Yoda's species, he's Force sensitive. And by the fact that he didn't go with Luke Skywalker and keep on training, obviously, he's probably going to be alive for sequels time. But, like, I don't know. Also, Zeb being there, it's cool. He had nothing to do, really, but it's cool. I gotta say, this is a movie, it's very enjoyable. I will say, it's a quite enjoyable movie. I would suggest you pay money for theaters to watch it. Not exactly. You could wait for stream, but if you really do want to watch it in theaters, watch it in theaters. Because it's like solid, it's a good movie, right? But it's just not that great. It's not excellent, but it's not terrible. Some people are saying it's one of the worst Star Wars movies, worst Star Wars project. It's not. Actually, I would... I know it sounds crazy. It's in my top 5. No, it's not. I just lied to you. It's in my top 6. But that's, to be fair, not because of its quality. It's because I think only half of Star Wars films are that good. I mean, let's go through it. Phantom Menace, Attack of Clones are both 6 out of 10s. The sequels, Force Awakens is like a 5.8. I don't know. It's not too much worse than the game prequels. Last Jedi is like a 4. It's really not that good. Actually, sorry. Last Jedi is like a 5. It's not abhorrent, but it's quite bad. I think actually more like a 4.7. Sorry. And then Rise of Skywalker is generally like a 3. It's awful. And then the Clone Wars movie sucks. I don't like Solo either. So there we have 7 out of 13 Star Wars movies not being good, in my opinion. So it's like, yeah, when we have a good and enjoyable Star Wars film, yeah, it's going to be high ranking, but hey. In Star Wars projects now, that's a different story. There are some great Star Wars TV shows. I mean, Andor, Clone Wars, Rebels, first 2 seasons of Mandalorian. Like, you got stuff like that. Oh, and Maul Shadow Lord. That's so far really great. I know I didn't make a review on it, because I actually didn't watch it till now. I'm at episode 5, and it's really great so far. I know it only gets better, but yeah. Anyways, yeah, overall, like, I don't have much to say about the movie. The Hutts were cool. The action was good. The visuals were mostly good, other than some rough CGI, but it is a visually pleasant movie. The lack of arcs and meaning to this did hurt it, and it could feel just like a bunch of fetch quests at some time. Honestly, this film really did just feel like a video game side quest, but hey. Also, one last thing is, I was talking to someone, and they were like, you know what, they probably should make this Season 3 Mandalorian a movie. I honestly just disagree. This should have been a Disney Plus special at best. So there's that. Which, here is my main problem with the film, which has nothing to do with the film, but more Star Wars in general, which, I'll just warn you, this lasts like 8 minutes. Honestly, I could rant for a while. From here on, the video is just going to be me kind of ranting about the state of Star Wars. So, Star Wars. Dear Star Wars, what the hell are you doing? Because generally, you look like you're in a mess right now. Like, it just feels rough. This is Star Wars return to theaters after 7 years, and I feel like it shouldn't have been. You know, there's just there's many more projects that are a priority. I mean, think about it. There are, like, you may not know this. You may not know this because you'll never think about it and you never hear news about it. There's, like, a dozen Star Wars projects in development. That Ryan Gosling Starfighter movie, I mean, that one I'm actually happy about because it has a release date set for next year. Now, that could always get delayed because I've heard literally nothing about its filming, about anything. But, hey, that at least has a release date. There was a Raid trilogy announced like 3 years ago, and haven't we only heard that they have a writer for it? Like 3 years ago? Like, there's been nothing about that Raid trilogy. there has been nothing about the Taika Waititi trilogy. Yeah, he was going to get a trilogy. There was going to be a movie about the Old Republic. Nothing about that. There was going to be a movie. There is a movie set for The First Jedi. Nothing about that. I'm pretty sure there is set to be one about the High Republic. Nothing about that. What are we doing? Generally, Star Wars, what are we doing? And I've heard some people say, well, maybe we're just reaching the end of Star Wars stories. No, we aren't. We just straight up aren't. There were, after the originals, I may be off of my timeline, I'm not the best about Star Wars comics, but after the originals, there were 30 years worth of comics. There were hundreds of years in the timeline of story to cover, which is Legends. Sadly, Disney threw it away to do their sequels, which, Legends did have a lot to it, but still, sadly, that did happen, and we lost all content, but you can still reference it and still use it. And for as much as I hate the sequel trilogy, I think it's a really bad trilogy, we need more exploration of the sequel side of Star Wars. I'm sorry. That Rey trilogy of her building the Jedi Order can be really interesting. The only problem is, the only problem with Rey is that she just wasn't well written. With some good writing, it could be really interesting. And also, we just need an exploration of the sequels. A version of the sequels for the Clone Wars that's not Resistance should have been made as soon as Rise of Skywalker ended. Because we need something. Remember, the prequels were hated, and I think a huge reason for why it's beloved now, and maybe even over-beloved, is the Clone Wars. Without the Clone Wars, people would still hate on the prequels. And maybe, if the sequels actually had expansions of their universe at the time, it would help. So yeah, that's just my problem with this film, is that we don't need it. Which I know you don't need any film ever, but I'm saying, for Star Wars specifically, there are many more projects that I would have as a priority above a Mandalorian and Grogu project. More exploration on the sequel trilogy. Also, there's supposed to be a movie about Ahsoka and Mandalorian's plot coming together to fight Thrawn. That's supposed to be a movie. We've never heard about that movie since its announcement? Anything about it. But it's still in development. Ahsoka Season 2, what? Didn't that get delayed till, next year? That's gonna be 4 years since it's released or something like that. We're losing the plot, Star Wars. Because you're pretty directionless. Even Phase 4 of the MCU, the worst phase in the MCU because of its directionless, right? Directionlessness. Well, this is like that, but 10 times worse. Star Wars, they need to do some things. A, make a show based off the Vader comics. I'm sorry, those Vader comics are peak, and we need a show about it. Second thing, I'm talking about the newer Disney Vader comics right now. Oh, the Disney comics. You know what? Those comics are fire. Anyways, we also need more expansion on the sequels universe. We need more development on these projects. We need something, just expand your universe, do your projects that you're trying to figure out, and please do something with the sequels time period. I know people don't like the sequels, but you need to do something with that. You can't just have this 30-year and beyond blank period for Star Wars. You can't constantly rely on that time gap between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. You need to figure out something different. Whether that is going and exploring the High Republic and the start of the or the Old Republic or the start of the Jedi, that's great. But I honestly think that's a neat route to go for, but do more of the sequel stuff, okay? Because you're running out of things to talk about. Generally, if you ask me, well, what show could we do between Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope, the only one that I think that would actually turn out well and would make sense would be a Vader show. And, yeah, we're just not developing Star Wars, and it sucks, because it's a franchise with so much potential, even in the sequels time period. There are so many good things you can do with sequels time period. For example, I would have much rather taken a Hunt for Ben Solo movie over this. I know it's crazy, but, Kylo Ren and Ben Solo, with good writing, as seen in the comics, can turn out well. So we just need more of that, honestly. So, anyways, whether you agree with me or not about Save Star Wars and this movie, by the way, I'll give this movie a 7 out of 10. Just a flat 7. It's good. It's very enjoyable, but it's okay. It's not the greatest thing ever. It's not the grand return to Star Wars theaters, But it's solid. It really just should have been a Disney Plus special, you know. But yeah, if you respect my opinion, thank you. And if you don't, comment your disagreements, I guess. Bye.